Okay, this is a video for the 7 Hertz i99. It is, I wreck it. It's a fun set. It's V-tuned. It's like the Empire Ears of Legend X. Bass is emphasized, trebles emphasized. Mids are not perfect. It's a fun set. And that, with that kind of disclaimer, that's the wreck. It's a fun set. The build quality is fantastic. I did a video with it in my hand. You can go take a look at that. They're just gorgeous. It's got that screen on the top that almost looks like what Sony does with the Fibonacci, or I'm not sure how to pronounce that. That's supposed to do something. And it looks cool. The build quality is fantastic. The cable is actually quite nice. The terminations are really good. The MMCX, which is not ideal for me, but this feels really good in the sense like the Sonys, where if you keep this cable, you should never ever have a problem. I don't know about changing. I don't know why, because these actually match. Some of the music, listen to Tupac, Picture Me Rollin', Michael Jackson. No, not Michael Jackson. Aerosmith, No More, No More, Black Sabbath, Sweet Leaf, Jim Croce, Operator, Fleetwood Mac, Landslide, Bob Marley, Coming In From the Cold. I listened to Ripple by the Grateful Dead. I listened to Neil Young, Old Man. I was trying to listen to stuff with vocals kind of right up on me, because this is what the final A8000 wasn't for me, because that was just too bright for me. This has an elevated, this is beryllium coated. It says DLC in beryllium, but I think that's something lost in translation. I think the DLC, diamond light coating, diamond it's carbon, right? Pretty much very, very super highly compressed carbon is what diamonds are. I think it's like a carbon graphene type driver with a beryllium coating on it. I'll update later if someone's more specific, but I don't think it's DLC and beryllium. That would be a double coating. It doesn't make sense. Or, I don't know what I'm talking about, but I don't think it's both of those, but I think it's definitely beryllium because of the way that it sounds really good despite it being a V. This would be something that I would compare, if I do so, with something like the Legend X, because it's tuned in a way that's not dissimilar. It's actually quite... This is more gorgeous than that. That's plastic resin, or resin with gold caps, and this is just a gorgeous... These are just so damn beautiful. And the music does sound good, but again, this wouldn't be a critical monitor set. This would be like a fun set. But people talk about change of pace. You got to have one and the other. One's got to be your critical listening, and then the other's got to be your fun set. And this would be a fun set, and it's absolutely beautiful and high quality in its build and presentation. Let's hold on a second. Everybody time out. That box, as soon as I saw it, I thought, same thing you did. My viewers, I know you people, you know me. Yeah. But the problem is, if the cops came into your place, the first thing they do is check that box, wouldn't they? It smells like weed. I can smell it from here. It's a trip. The box. Some people said, I want that box. If these ever leave my life, I don't know if the box goes with it. You know what I mean? Like, I like that box. Now, I'm going to tell a story. Okay? It's my channel. I can tell a story. Everything I say from this moment forward might not be true. I got to protect myself in case somebody ever says something. This might not be a true story. Let me go ahead and tell it to you. In Hawaii Kai got a plate in a living room that is right next to the carport. And on the plate is a pile about the size of my fist. And a lot of it is a rock that has been chipped off of a key, pretty much. It's called a bird. And I remember marveling at its size. And also, I had just hoovered one to my dome, and you get that rush, like, whoa. And then right at that second, a cop walks right in that screen door that goes to the carport. A cop, while there's a stone on a plate. Just enough to send you away. That's not recreational volume. You know what I'm saying? That's for myself. No. 30 years plus. My life is flashing in front of my face, in my mind. And he walks out the door for a second and says, come here, to the person that I'm with. And he comes walking back in, and I'm just thinking my life's over. Holy crap. This is all stimulated by this box. So sorry for you guys and for 7 Hertz. And he walks back. He's like, "Don't worry about it." I was like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa!" And he said, "He's a cop." I said, "I saw that man. He's in his fucking uniform, a HPD officer. I know his name. I won't say it because he said something to me later because I asked him, but I asked him and I said, "What's the deal?" And he said, he lives right over here. He's right across from." And I didn't know that at the time because he usually didn't come back with his uniform on, and I never see him use a cruiser. And he said he lives here. He doesn't make trouble. And if you ever lived in a neighborhood with an enforcement officer, usually in Hawaii anyway, they don't patrol their own neighborhoods because they've got children in schools sometimes and they can be abused, bullied, etc. So they don't enforce the law in their own neighborhood unless it's, you know what I mean, life and death type of stuff. Otherwise, they might pass it on. So he walked in on like a mini Scarface moment and just took dude outside and was like, "Man, could you lock the door or something? Please, you put me in a tough spot." And then he said something about the neighborhood and hoses and then walked away. And that never happened again. I never was in that kitchen in that situation again because now I knew that right across in the opposing carport was a cop with 2 kids, and I was always very nice to them. I think I might have actually played a pickup baseball game and with some kids and some other friends, and maybe his kid was there and maybe he was too, and I had asked him a question about that and he kind of laughed it off, so I won't get into that with detail. But this kind of pulled that story out. So beware, if you get this and you think, "I'll put my stash right in there," they'd look right in there. But if your neighbor happens to be an officer and is the one that sees that, they probably won't do anything. If you know about law enforcement or you got any in your neighborhood, please chime in, because in Hawaii they do not, you know, a smart dog doesn't shit in its own yard. The cops don't want to make trouble in their own neighborhood. And I never had ever thought of that until my life was on the line. And then the reason it wasn't done was because he doesn't want his kids to have trouble in school, and someone else can take care of this. And he just gave a polite, like, "Dude, you know, please, a little less with the Scarface and impersonations, could you?" But back to this. Treble is elevated. Mids are slightly dipped. Bass is elevated. Sounds a lot like the Empire Years Legend X. It's more beautiful than that. It's a lot more affordable. I'll do a comparison between the two. I should have graphed the two. I didn't think about it. I just thought I enjoyed it a lot. However, it doesn't really match my ideal curve that I actually posted recently. So the only thing of note where I could say something like Blind Faith with Steve Winwood, Jim Croce, Gordon Lightfoot, there was no time when I thought, I don't know who the lead singer of America is, but Tin Man, the only time, because I really OCD on it, was No More, No More, where Steven Tyler sounded a little bit back. But I was looking for that. So if you look for stuff, you're going to find it. And I did. But I really enjoyed my listening with this. And if you know 7 Hertz and Me, it was another beautiful one with copper nozzle. Really gorgeous, gorgeous looking set. But it was just a little bit too off for me. Not something that I could honestly recommend at all, unless you were totally into DIY. So I just skipped that. I don't want to recommend stuff that you got to take and then do stuff to. You got to put some, micropore over the nozzle. You got to do this. You got to do that. Now, if you want to do that kind of stuff, that's totally cool. I dig it. The community around the Phantoms is huge, and that cap was done by DIY people. But recommending stuff that needs that out of the box, it's kind of a no-go for me. But this 7 Hertz doesn't need that. This is gorgeous. It's artwork, and it comes in a stash box. I imagine anybody that buys this is immediately going to take this out, put it in something, and then put something else inside this. And then maybe I'll get a private picture saying, hey, maybe pixelate whatever's in there and be like, check it out. You know what I mean? I got mine. Bam. Little something hanging out. I'll do a more legit. I'm going to probably do a comparison between the 03 and the L3 because I've been asked that a lot. People said the V3, but it doesn't have a dynamic driver, so it's really, I can already say the bass is not going to be the same. So maybe the Urban Fun, the Belon 03, and the L3 are going to do a 3-way battle. So this gets the wreck. It's going to go my E tier. It's It's a fun tune V set, but it is fun. It does sound good. It's not my ideal tuning, but I did enjoy it. If I OCD on certain stuff like Steven Tyler, it's not ideal. Cymbal strikes are good, not perfect, but that happens a lot. It's a fun set. Damn, it's gorgeous. And I'm out. And that story I told might be totally false. You know what I mean? So I'm out. And I'm sorry about the ramble. I talk too much. Long pause adds to the long video. Yay. I'm out.